Already on. How you doing, buddy? Hope everybody's having a good holiday. Well, at least in Canada, it is a holiday. I just woke up like not too long ago, like, and fed all the fish. I have a bunch of work to do today. I didn't live stream yesterday because I've been working my, behind up, trying to get everything up and running, and everything is up and running upstairs. Well, not really, but I'm moving stuff around, and I got some tanks moved, so I'm setting those up today and filling them with water and all that good jazz. So first of all, we're gonna look at some of the fish in the basement real quickly. There's a bunch of cool fish down here, so I'll go around and show you guys. Good morning, Leah. Hope you're having a good holiday. So let's look at these guys. Here we are. It's a tank full of German rams. We got a lot of these ones, so wholesale orders are welcome, and definitely see another tank. And so a lot of rams. There's a lot of people on. Good morning. Hope everybody's having a great morning. If you're in Canada and you're having a day off, happy holiday. I thought it was Labor Day for some reason. That's in September. Okay, so we got some longfin ancestors, super reds. These guys are quite pretty. See, they're the same color as the porcelain. They're no different. Like, they're the exact same color. Try to get a close up. So not enhanced or anything like that. That's what the fish looks like naturally, at least in our facility. It's BC Day. So yeah, I was looking this up. In all across Canada, it's different names for it, but it's a holiday. It's a holiday. Okay, it's kind of tight in here, so it's kind of hard to film, but I'm trying to get you guys some first looks at what fish we have available in the fish room. These guys are not for sale. These guys are for sale. So if you're in the GTA, send me a message. You can buy these. I can give you pairs. Like, these pairs are like pretty much ready to breed. You're looking at a pair right here. That's the female. That's the big boy. So down below we have some black rams. What's going on, Andre? Lots of black rams, actually. Lots and lots of black rams. So pretty excited for those. I know a lot of fish stores and wholesalers and the retail, like online stores that like Longfin Lagoon has an online store, so he's probably interested in getting some of these pretty soon. And we got some special fish down here. We're not gonna look at too much, but they're special fish. That's all I'm gonna say. There's also some special fish in here. Try to find you those guys. Well, there's these electric blue rams, so you got those, and so those are special fish, not for sale. The one swimming about. It's a project. If anybody wants these guppies, I have a really nice strain here that I just want to give away. These guys, if you have a kid or whatever, or whatever, and you want these for your tank as a project, if you're a teacher and you want these in your school tank, whatever, send me a message. Or if you're just a hobbyist and you just want these, I don't care. You know what I mean? It's a good fish. You would have to like remove some of these males, like this guy. Like, there's specific ones. I can even help you pick the two nicest males. Yeah. Oh yeah. So let me go around and show you. This is one of the black tanks. So these guys are like primo grade. They're like the cream of the crop, black rams right here. All black, every single baby. See? We didn't have to like separate colors or nothing. This is like the whole spawn. And these are the strongest ones too. Like a lot of the smaller, weaker ones, like didn't make it. So these are the healthiest, strongest fish, and this pair produces all blacks. So definitely gonna be keeping some of these for ourselves. I'm calling these breeder select. I'll show you some like upstairs as well, which we are calling breeder select. You know, so this is what we select from. You know, so what's going on, John? John E. Prophet. Good morning. How are you? So there's some Discus here. Da-da-da-da. Really nice. Some other rams and various fishes going out. You can see their names written out there. This is Torictis maculipinus, which are the larger ones here. Try to get closer to the tank. Alright, let's try to do this properly. Alright. So, right there. It ran. There it is. So that's a Torictis maculipinus. We have 4 of these guys and girls. There's another one right there. And then we also have these electric blue acaras. I'm not really happy with the quality of the electric acaras. Like, I mean, some of them are nice. Like this one's nice, this one's nice. There's one that has like a little bit of a swim bladder issue, you know what I mean? So they're like inbred fish. But these particular ones might be, I think, F1s. I'm not 100% sure. I have to go back and find the person we got them from and find out. But they are gorgeous Central American cichlid. Similar to the firemouths. They're actually related to the firemouths. And so we have 4 of these little guys. They're not as little as these little rams. The rams are like they're all like the same age, but these guys just grew up faster, or they are growing faster. So really nice fish. If you're watching this right now, give this video a thumbs up. Helps out the channel a lot, you know. And say hi. What's going on, Nonstop? You're at work, not cool. I'm sorry, buddy. What's going on, Ravi Raj? Yeah, I'm sorry, Nonstop Aquatics. I thought you had a holiday today too. It's a holiday in Canada. You know, my bad. But yeah, as I was saying, I'm not. I'm really excited for these particular fish to grow up because they're gonna look really nice. And we have 4. So we're hoping for 2 pairs. I think that big one right there is a boy. He just chased another one around. It's coming up to the camera. I know the glasses are quite dirty, but we'll get all that sorted out soon. You know. But yeah. And moving about. So we got these. I forgot what they're called. Odessa Barbs. They're like red. They're really pretty. These guys are just coloring up. They're 8 months old. And so Michael breeds all of these fish that you're seeing down here, except for some of the Plecos. There are other Plecos that I didn't actually show you guys. They're in the other tanks. It's just, you know, hiding behind filters and stuff. There's also a bunch of catfish in here. There's a couple of hundred of these in here. And there's also a couple of hundred of those Lucipinus catfish in here. I think you can see them better in here. There they are. They're in there. I don't know, can you see them? They're in the bush, in the plant, the fake plant. They're like skittering about. See, there's a little one too. There's so many little guys in here too. Michael just put like another couple of hundred little ones in here. So, what, these Odessa Barbs? No, they're Odessa Barbs. But yeah, I was showing the Lucipinus. See, the little Lucipinus catfish, Synodontus Lucipinus. They're the spotted ones. They're tiny. So these are babies. See the little babies? And then there's a bunch of babies underneath this filter too. It's hard to see them. They're all hiding. But when I put food, they all come out. I just fed these guys, so I can't feed them again right now. So yeah, moving about. We're gonna go around and look at some Discus. These guys grew. See how big they got? They got big, right? Been here for like a month, maybe. Yeah, I don't think they've been here more than a month. They colored up quite well too. Peppering's all gone on most of them. So I'm keeping these ones right here. This one is gonna stay. 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 So these are all gonna be breeders from this tank. This one definitely. Maybe this one also. I like this one. It's a pretty one. Michael really likes this one, so I might keep that one. And then down below, also the same deal. We're gonna keep a bunch of these, because you know, so these are our own fish that were born here, that are being grown here in the same tap water. You know, they are pretty acclimatized to living in this facility, as well as in the other facility, which is like 10 minutes drive from exactly where I am. So, what's going on, Audra? What's going on, Sandy? How you doing? How you doing, Marvin? Yes, give this video a thumbs up. I don't know. Like, I mean, they're tank bred fish, so they shouldn't be too difficult. So from this tank, we'll definitely keep like this one, this one, this one, that one over there. You know, and then these will probably end up growing up. You know, and the rest will end up just, you know, selling to like the pet store or something like that, just because we don't have space to keep all the fish. And then once we grow these out, once we have pairs, we'll end up picking a couple of pairs for ourselves, and then also end up selling some of the pairs. So those pairs are going to be more expensive. But if you do want these, let me know. I can sell some of these locally as well. I would have to talk to Michael and find out which ones he wants to sell, and as opposed to which one he also wants to keep. But I'm definitely planning on holding back this one to grow out. This one, these bigger ones out of the batch are definitely you know, faster growing, and I feel like they will have the biggest chance of growing into a larger size. What's going on, Tom O'Hari? How you doing, buddy? Hello from Canada. How's the weather like in Japan right now? It's summertime for you guys also, right? Thank you so much. So yeah, these guys are like babies, so we're just growing them out right now. This ram is a bully. I might want to get him out of this tank because I don't want him damaging any of these guys. Buddy, stop. Okay? Stop. 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 Wait. He's really pretty. Like, he's really pretty. You see his face? It's all black. There's another one. See? They don't look like normal German rams. They have like half black faces. See? This one also. See? It's because they're not normal German rams. They're black rams that are like hybridized, you know, like just very bad quality fish that were bred by somebody else, and we just bought them before we had our see, that's a normal blue ram that's fighting with them. So there's like a few of them here. See? They're just very mean to each other. That's a normal one right there. See how its shape is nicer? That's one of Michael's fishes. What's going on, live feeding? It's really hot in Japan. Wow. It's hot here also in Toronto. I guess it's summertime, you know? It is what it is. But it is really hot. What's going on, GB? How hot? Like, I mean, I know there's been heat waves and stuff too, so it's been kind of dangerous to go outside on certain days. But I had no choice. I was still working outside. There we go. Is that a better view? That's a better view. I just fed these guys also. Look at their tummies. This one I want to keep. It's peppered a little bit, but it's a really pretty fish. we're clearing, like when they're babies, they're like this kind of color, you know. So as they get older, you kind of when you feed the right food, the orange comes out. So that's what I'm doing, essentially, you know, properly feeding them the right grow out food with the right color enhancing thing. So what we're feeding here is the tetra tropical color granules. Stuff is the best. I love that stuff. So this is definitely my favorite tank. I definitely enjoy being here and watching these guys and girls when I have time off. And yeah, this is a really pretty one. I think Michael really likes this one. I really like that one also. I also like these red ones, like these two right here. Oh, they're my favorites. And then this guy right here also. I feel like these ones are gonna have like spectacular color. These better ones. See that one right there? This one. So I'm very excited for these fish. So let's see what happens, you know, over time as they grow. Thank you, Marcy. Okay, so we do have a lot of work down here also. This tank needs to be resealed. This tank needs to be resealed. The auto water change system is coming along, so I'm definitely excited for that. There is water in this tap, so we need to have this way more secure. If this falls, water will start siphoning out from our 90-gallon barrel. So these are things to work on. Chipping away. I do not like this thing here, but Michael does. So we have one of these. I mean, I don't, honestly, I just don't trust it. Okay, watch this. Hey Alexa, listening. What's up? Nothing. See? She's listening. Hey Alexa. She's not responding. Hey Alexa. Not responding to me. She knows I don't like it being there. It's weird, eh? Yo, I'm not good with these AIs, you know what I mean? I don't trust them. And anyways, but Michael wants to get it set up to run the lights and stuff, so we might install one upstairs, or actually, I don't know, not the upstairs. I want to have those on automatic timers that I run. You know what I mean? You don't need Alexa to run the whole house, but it's nice to have control over the basement. So that's what's going on down there. Okay, so we're in the main floor now. Door. Actually, let me show you guys some of the tanks. I didn't lock the door. Okay, so I know this tank is overcrowded. That's what I'm doing today, fixing that. And then we have this tank here. The glass does need to be cleaned. This guy's up and running. I just don't have any fish in there. And then there's water in here, like, which we're gonna use. Thank you, Rob. And so things are coming along. I'm playing essentially, I don't know if I've ever told you guys this, but I'm literally playing Tetris up here because there's so much stuff up in the house. Can't have it in the driveway for like a month and a half. And I haven't had time because I've been at work every day. So I'm overwhelmed. Every single day I'm putting in like 6 to 8 hours at least if I have a day off. But it's like, it's difficult, you know what I mean? Because you have life to do stuff too. Like I haven't filed my taxes, you know, whatever. So yesterday I got this done. I went to Home Depot. I bought wood for the floor. You know? nice 3/4 inch plywood. Then I put the tank on it, or the stand, and then the whole thing. I still have to put styrofoam up here, which I'm gonna try and do now. But this tank is heavier, so what I was thinking of doing, I gotta reseal this tank anyways, the top one. But it's good to hold water for now. It's just I'm gonna use it temporarily, you know. So I'm gonna fill it like halfway. Mark on it saying it needs to be resealed. Not gonna put gravel or anything. Just gonna have fish temporarily so that I have a space to put those fish that are in the other tank that's like super overcrowded. So a lot of these fish need to get sold and moved out because we have more baby fish coming out of the yin yang and growing up all throughout the fish room. So this is one of the things that needs to get done today. These two tanks need to get filled, set up. Now this tank here is exactly where it needs to be. So this is going to be the Apitanos tank, which is what it was supposed to be to begin with when I was even at the old house. So I can just put sand in here, put water, put the filters, bring the Apitanos down over the next week, you know. So this will be set up and running. Yeah, I'm also working 6 days a week more times. Jeremy wants to know if I sell fish to... Well, if there is a store that wants to buy from me, I'm definitely not against it. But right now, none of the stores from London have reached out and bought fish from us yet. But also, we've only been up and running for a few months, you know what I mean? Like before that, I was just downtown Toronto, and we were not at this level of production. Super thirsty. Anywho's, let's go upstairs and show you guys what I've been doing up there. That's a lot of work. I mean, I'm overwhelmed. I'm not even lying. I gotta be honest with you guys. It's been hard. Yesterday I just couldn't even function. After I got everything done, I just wanted to go to bed. Okay. I mean, I am friends with one of his friends. We have mutual friends, and I'm also friends with him on Facebook. But he just haven't bought fish from me yet. I think soon. I will definitely actually message him. Alright, so I got these tanks set up, but they're not aligned properly, so like this is kind of like bending. I gotta drain all three. The idea here is, okay, don't mind the mess, but I'll show you guys a view. What's going on, Glitch Aquatics? Okay, so there's gonna be these two 15-gallon tanks up top here. There's gonna be 4 of these 10 gallons here, maybe this 20 gallon, just because I have it, right? This is a 20 tall, okay? 20 extra tall, so like it has a 10-gallon footprint. It's a weird shaped tank. That's really nice. It's made by Eclipse, so I might set this up right there. But the problem is that the styrofoam was not properly sized, and it's bending in the middle, and the wood, I gotta shimmy it up right there. I gotta put a piece of wood, then a piece of styrofoam, fix this rack here in the bottom section. It's really well built, so it just needs to be leveled, okay? So I'm moving all 3 of these over to that side, taking this guy out and leveling this out today and setting that up. So that's part of the plan for the day. There'll be 2 15s here, which I already have, and then 2 20 talls over there, which I have in the other room, which I'm going to drain and bring over. So that ideally, this is going to be my angelfish breeding setup. Okay? Well, at least not all of my breeding pairs, but I can keep, if I have 4 10 gallons over there and 4 10 gallons over here, 2 15s and 2 20s, I can keep 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 pairs, breeding pairs of angels in this rack. Okay, so that's the plan for this. Just needs to get set up. This is gonna get taken down because this was a temporary setup. All these tanks will be moved into different locations. As I do that, over here, yonders, I do like these 4 tanks, how they are set up. So I kind of want to keep them as they are. And the 3 up top also, I think once I have lids on them, proper lighting, I could make planted displays up there, so I'm not too averse to that. I like where those 2 are. I like where these 2 are. Although I'm not gonna keep angelfish breeding pairs in the bottom tanks. Non-stop says most depth tanks. Definitely, we have some tanks for that. I'll show you guys that in a second. So this bottom tank will up taking the pair of fish out of here, putting them in the other room, and I'm gonna convert this into a Corridorus breeding tank. Same thing down there. I'm gonna take the pair of fish, move them into their own tank in the other room, make that into a Corridorus breeding tank. Now these are my cousin's fish, so they're doing well in this setup. I've never mixed them with any other fish in the fish room or anybody else that they came with, because the other fish they came with had diseases that were passing around and I was losing some of them. These 4 do not seem to have those diseases, so they've been kind of clean the entire time. So I'm just keeping them on their own. I don't think I'm going to move them. They're just going to stay here until my cousin comes back from vacation in a month or so and picks these up and takes them back to Montreal. So these are special fish that we got from, I forgot where. Oh yes, Fanatics Aquarium. I really like this particular strain of fish. I'll try to get you a good video of it. There we go. I'm calling these the blue belugas. So they are a strain of fish that was bred by a scientist here in Canada. I'm trying to get, there we go. It's a really pretty fish. Look at that. It's like a smoky Pinoy Bulgarian sail pointers. So similar like the black striation, but they have a blue stripe going up and down. Now, these guys are at breeding size already. They're quite small, but they're also an aggressive strain. So I have some more over here. With some of the reds. Now these are the reds he's crossed with those particular fish to create this one, which is the largest out of the batch. They're similar. They're more like, like a hybrid, but they're also nice. So I'm gonna keep trying to breed those out. So that pair in the back there did breed already. I'm trying to get you those guys in the film. I don't know if you see them, but right there. See how pretty those 2 are? They're like the pair that formed in this tank already. They've already laid eggs. They might even have babies down there, because the eggs were there yesterday and then they disappeared. So I'm assuming they hatched. I'm not expecting them to like raise the spawn, but generally speaking, like angelfish in this type of environment with the plant cover and other fish tend to do a good job at raising their babies. So we might actually end up getting some babies out of them after all. You never know. But regardless of what happens in the next few weeks, these guys, this boy and girl, will go into their own tank in the other room. So that's a part of the plan. I need to fix the filter in the tank beside them. Lots of work to do. On the sad news front, we did lose an Altum Angel. First one since I've gotten that group. So I have a pair here, and the other pair is over here. I don't know if you can see them. And they ended up killing the bigger male. I think this guy. There was another one like him, pretty large, aggressive. and you can see his tail's all ripped up and stuff. And she was pairing up with that guy over here trying to lay eggs somewhere here. And I came home that night and I found him like beaten to death like over here. So I think this guy was the culprit, over here. But it happened. So what I ended up doing is because he was being bullish to the other pair, they were hiding. So I moved this pair over here, and now they're all gonna get their own tank. So these two are also seems to be a pair, so they're gonna get their own tank. But they're not aggressive towards the other angels for some weird reason. They were only aggressive with two big males. So pretty saddened about it. But what are you gonna do? But then these guys need water. I forgot to fill it back yesterday after the water change. But, it's not like the end of the world. It's just two fish. And they're still in about 15 gallons of water, mind you. It's a 20 tall, so I usually fill it up to about there, or like close to that, and then it evaporates to about there. I don't know. So, that's the same volume of water down below, 15 gallons. So I told you, Corridor's tank. This whole thing is coming apart. What I'm doing here is I want to raise it one more brick. So this is too low over here for me. I want to bring it up to that level. And I bought the bricks. I have the wood. So I might just leave wood that's already there on there. I might actually take it out and figure out, move it forward a little bit. I don't know. I haven't really decided how I want to do it yet, but it's gonna be similar design, just higher. And then the top tanks, I want them like at this level, So same design, so one brick, wood, 3 bricks, wood. So 1 brick, wood, 1, 2, 3, the top wood, tank, right? So to do that, firstly I have to get these tanks off of here. So what I'm doing is these 2 tanks are going to go up top, where the other two spaces are for the 20 tolls in the other room. These 2 are going to go into the living room rack, and then those are going to start getting filled up. I mean, there's a lot of fish, Marcy. What's going on, Craig? What's going on, US Caper? Nonstop said more Zeb tanks. Definitely. I mean, a 37 gallon, you can keep a lot of the fish you can find at a general pet store, except for like something that gets to over like 8-10 inches. Once the fish starts getting a lot bigger than 8, 9, 10 inches, that's when you're starting to run into like trouble in a 37 or a 40 gallon tank. I mean, you can keep angelfish in it. Tetras, these guys are really nice, easy to breed. This tetras, sorry for the glass quality, but just to show you an idea. That's a 37 gallon tank. We keep a lot of fish in 37 gallon. There's a lot of fish in this tank. There's about 50 Plecos in here. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 large angelfish. It's quite possible to keep quite a lot of fish in one of these. But I don't recommend keeping this much fish in this tank. I would say 2 angelfish and about 8 Plecos to 10 Plecos, or even 12 of the same species. Like would be a good amount to have in a tank this size. And like when I mean Plecos, I mean these little guys. Like so these L134s, you could probably keep like 10 of those, 12 of those, 15 of those in one of these size tanks. Some Corridoras, a pair of angels, maybe a couple of tetras. It doesn't hurt. Like you can have a decent amount of fish. That's a 37 gallon. This is also 37 gallon. This house is like over 100 Plecos right now, but again, not recommended long term, just temporary housing, you know. I would say 10, 12, 15 Plecos that are like 3 to 4 inches or smaller. 10, 12 Corridoras, 15 Corridoras, 10, 15, you know, or 20 small Tetras, you know. Something like that is quite nice and doable. Oh, got a new chair. I don't know what you guys think. Do you guys like it? It's kind of, it does have some defects, but I'm not gonna complain. I'm very happy. It's a nice chair. I'll show you guys, give you guys a little spin in there we go. So this is literally to live stream from, and I did set this room up yesterday. So things are much nicer. Again, the glass is not cleaned. It need work. These tanks need to be water changed. Because one of these tanks definitely smells. It's probably these two. Alright. That's the new chair for now. I like it. I like it a lot. I got it on Amazon. But alright, let's look at these things. So this is why I like this setup here. So these are the new baby fishes that are available. These are for sale, and I'm picking a few of these for myself, the red ones. Thank you. This one I'm gonna keep. This platinum pearl scale, really pretty fish. I'm gonna keep a bunch of the pearl scale ones for myself and for my cousin. And sell the rest. Same thing over here. So these are some of the things I have to do today. Water changes plus like moving some of these fish around and catching them, so on and so forth. Again, the pearl scales I'm keeping. A few of the platinums. Also, most of the larger long fin ones, like this one maybe. You know, like I'll keep like 10, 12, like I'll just start picking the nicest 12 and I'll put them in a tank, and just because I owe my cousin fish for the ones that died whilst we were moving and through the winter, through the move from his house to my house. Actually we didn't lose any that week, but they did weaken them quite a bit. They were like barely breathing. Like, I mean, I had to like shake them and bring them back to life because it was so cold in the water. Like it was like 14 degrees or something Celsius, which is below. It's about 60 or 58 or 50, 55 maybe Fahrenheit when I got them. They were like super cold, so I had to put warm water in there really fast, you know, with the hose. And that warmed up them a little bit. They were coming back to their senses, and you know what I mean. They weren't like alive, and when they came in, I guess they were like barely alive. I don't know. So that weakened them. So some of the oldest ones, you know, got sick. You know, a couple of weeks. One female had a disease already on her, so she died. That was the prettiest one actually. It was a pearl scale pair, and the female died. And then I managed to breed the male with another female, and I got a few clutches off of that, which are some of these pearl scales here, these gold pearl scales, because I bred the platinum with the gold female because that's what I had at the time. So I got that one right there. This is another one. This is what the female looked like that I bred the pearl scale to, and it was discolored, and it was like a red top kind of color, and had pearl scales on it as well as the coloration. So it's a really pretty fish. And these are the resulting babies. So this is what I picked out to keep for ourselves and to breed with, you know, for the next generation. So anywho, and this is what we're gonna pick from. And there's some nice fish to pick from, like this one right here. I really like this platinum one. I'm gonna keep. And so then also he had another older platinum pair, which did breed twice, and the female again, they all had this particular disease, and it got transferred to some of my fish also, and it's still in one of my tanks, but it's not like a disease that kills the fish instantly. They're alive, they're doing well, and then they start getting like a diseased face, like inside their nostrils, like I don't know exactly, like that part right there in the brain casing or the skull casing, and they start, kicking the bucket. So they all had it, like all the fish he brought over, and except for the two platinum pairs that are in that one tank, which I separated right away. I separated all the pairs he brought, and except for the odds and ends fish that I mixed with my own fish, and my fish didn't have any immunity to whatever disease there was, so it went through my room pretty fast, and whatever was, there's a few that survived, but a lot of them died. And you know what I mean? So it wasn't a thing, nothing I could do at the time. I think I lost like 18 or 19 fish. Yeah, so that happened. And, but yeah, so these are the results from like me breeding the fish before they were completely susceptible to the disease and dying, and then in turn just keeping the babies separately from the parents, and without the disease. So now disease-free fish. That's how I got to this point. So that's what I was trying to explain anyways, is that these particular ones were the ones that I've managed to salvage, and they don't have that issue, so which is a good thing. So I'm pretty happy about it. And so now when my cousin gets back from vacation, he's gonna end up taking a bunch of these back to Montreal to breed back with, as well as some of the red ones which I breed. The short fin platinums, which came from his oldest male and pearl scale female. So these are like gonna produce pearl scales, when you breed them back to each other, the platinums. And this tank is a water change, obviously, and that's what I'm supposed to do right now, and fix the filters and stuff, and this needs water change as well. So this is what I have to do today, and then I'm gonna also finish the stuff downstairs and whatnot, and so yeah, that's today's plan. And I probably wouldn't update again after this because I'm gonna be tired, but I just wanted to give you guys some type of update on what's going on in the fish room. So here are the Dantums. So these are albino Dantum angels. They're really nice. They're getting ready to breed, and they're very aggressive. So, and I feel like I have a pair. It definitely seems to be a female. It's very aggressive, and there's at least two pairs. It's not much I can do. Whatever pairs up, I'm gonna let them, pair up and then move them into their own tanks. So this is again a 37 gallon. Generally, how much fish I like to have in a 37 gallon, like a group of top swimming, middle swimming fish. There's 6 of these. There's 8 or 9 of these Plecos. These are like the L471s. So the Dwarf Snowball Plecos. And so this is like the other group that I had in a back tank. I need to buy more, and I'm going to keep those separate from these ones. And I also have babies that I was growing out that I found in different tanks that I'm going to keep separate from everybody else. So that's essentially what I'm doing with those. Some babies in the box. So baby 471s, real cute. Baby longfin super reds. More baby longfin super reds. There's a lot of those in there. So that's what's going on over there. Baby angels, lots and lots and lots of baby angels. All in all, I think we have maybe 5,000 fish in the fish room right now, and it's a lot of work. And everybody needs to be like, I need to put in a lot more time in here. I just haven't had time they all need a lot more attention from me than what I'm currently giving them. And moving forward, that's one of the things I need to like get on top of. And so yeah, so that's essentially my plan. And I'm gonna sign off and get to that. I'm gonna quickly answer some questions if there's any. Paul Lovell, Joseph the Fish Ninja says hi. Tell him I said hi. What's going on, Dillian? Good day to you also. How are you? Hurrah, bro. I love seeing you all the time. Thank you, Heaven Bound Farm. Is it normal for angelfish around Mount Old Lane? Laying on their sides at the bottom of the tank, and only when feeding will come over and then go back. No, this is not good. It's a swim bladder issue. It's caused, I believe, by a bacterial infection. There's also various theories, and one of the theories I also have is that, when they're babies, they need to be fed pretty frequently. Now, my friend, he's a doctor, he explained this to me in terms, he's a human doctor, so he deals with human diseases, children as well, because he's one of the only doctors in his village. He's in Belgium, in a village of like maybe 1,200 people, okay? So those are his patients, adults, children, grandmas, grandpas, you know what I mean? Not animals, okay? He's only, fish breeder in that context for animals, but he does understand some veterinarian stuff also because he's a doctor. So he was explaining this to me. He said with human babies, when they're young, you have to keep the esophagus open. He said the lumen, like the tooth, the food tube. Now, if a child goes an extended period of time without food, that tube collapses on itself, and then it's very difficult to have it opened again to ingest food. So, like as a baby, malnutrition is very bad. That's how a lot of infant mortalities and stuff can happen in the third world, where there's not a lot of food available, where the baby might be malnutritious, or it goes through extended periods where the baby doesn't have the right food or any food or any liquid or anything, and then it could die, right? Not just from dehydration or anything, but just from that being close and not being able to intake any food. So what he said was the same thing could apply to baby fish, and as a baby fish, it might be a thing where if they are not being constantly fed, so if they go through extended periods of time without food, and then you feed a whole bunch, and so they get food, and then you go through another extended period, some of them might get damaged in that context also. And that's one of the other theories. So this is a theory my friend Dr. Thomas has about baby fish. And he was speaking of in the context of Plecos, but I think it still also applies with other fish like angels and German rams. Now, Michael also experienced something similar with some of his batches, and we were talking about this, and we both didn't have any idea why this happens. Now, I've also seen this happen in the past in my fish room, and the one common denominator, I believe, is the feeding schedules, that we all have busy lives and jobs and stuff, and for the most part, the feeding it seems to be a thing where we during the day when we're not home. Now, in myself and Michael's case right now, we are very fortunate because the grow-out facility is at his, the nursery is at his home. In his fish room. So all the baby fish that are born here, except for baby Plecos, end up going over there. So baby angels, if you have anything else like the Discus starts spawning, the Altum starts spawning, all the babies will end up going to his house for the first few weeks. So he has a better schedule to feed them, and he does have help throughout the day where they do get small feedings. So that seems to be beneficial, and we've since reduced our losses in that area also. So I think that could be a potential fix to it, is to increase your feeding schedule. Another thing, I think, as little babies, you can also feed them live baby brine shrimp in large quantities. A lot of times I find the live baby brine shrimp stays alive for about 8 to 10 hours, sometimes even longer in your tank. And also if you have baby angels, for example, you can add a little bit of salt into your tank just to increase the alkalinity in your tank, or whatever it might the salt does, the salinity, which increases the length, the lifespan of the brine shrimp in the tank. So these are tricks you can use. I think, especially with angels, I use these tricks all the time. Keeping them with the parents. So the three things my preferred breeding for angelfish is get the pairs that raise their own babies, keep the pH below 6.5, close to 6. If the pH is close to 6 or 5.5, you can let the pH drop all the way to like 4, and your angelfish would not usually be affected by it. I'm not saying every single time, but like at least the ones I've experienced in my whole life, they don't seem to be affected by low pH. I've seen angelfish in like basically battery acid, and they don't die. Okay. Now the benefit of keeping your pH below 6, I think, is for me, or 5 or 6.5, I guess, is that at lower pHs, ammonia is not harmful to your fish. So you can overfeed your tank and have ammonia spikes and not worry about it. If you like happen to overfeed one day, something happens, your fish are not gonna die before you come home and fix that. You know what I mean? You don't even have to worry about it if your pH is below a certain amount, as far as I can understand it. Now, this is not ideal, but for growing out baby fish, especially when they're young, it's useful, because then you can overfeed. You know what I mean? So what I like to do is I have a pair, in a tank of like 6.5 pH, let them breed, and then have decent amount of water in there. Do regular daily or every other day water changes to keep your nitrates down, because that's going to accumulate. Have a good filter, nice little sand bed and some moss and stuff, and overfeed, like with brine shrimp, like live baby brine shrimp, and they just eat them, and then whatever doesn't get eaten tends to live through the tank for like 10-12 hours, and then they die and then end up becoming whatever, like mom, which you can siphon out. I tend to not siphon out the mom too much, because that creates a nice bacteria bed, so that creates like secondary foods and stuff. Now again, it's a fine balance between it being perfectly balanced and everything working to like an algae bloom or whatever. So you just have to know how much or extra brine shrimp you can add in there, and not to put too much beyond what the fish can eat over like a 12-hour period when they're gone to work. And that's where like salt helps, and especially with moss and stuff, a little bit of salt wouldn't kill it. So having a little bit of salt in there keeps the brine shrimp alive a little longer. Gives you that extra little boost. So that works for me. If I didn't have the nursery option, which I have right now with Michael, and having that already there. So I mean, if that was not the case, and I think going forward also, because 12 tanks of angels breeding here, I don't think it's feasible to take eggs out of all of our tanks. So that's something I think is not going to be good like practice for like our facility, because it's just going to overwhelm myself, and mostly like Michael, because he's the one who takes them and takes care of them there. So what I want to have is all the breeding tanks have pairs that raise the babies to the point of free swimming, and then we harvest them at that point and then take them. And especially if we have like a really busy month, we can just leave the babies with the parents, and you know what I mean, or feed them with live baby brine shrimp, which I can hatch here. So these are different things we can do, or we do here, or that I've been doing so far with breeding angels. And for me personally, one pair, 20 tall, um, weekly water change until they start having babies. Once there's babies and you're feeding the babies heavily, I would say every day or every other day, 30% water change at least is required. Especially when you start heavily feeding them. When they're really small, when they just start to free swimming, you don't have to do water changes for the first 2 weeks. You can just neglect it, and that also creates some microorganisms, especially if you have moss and sand and stuff like that, and a little bit of food gets into that. Over time, little animals start coming out of it, which are like invisible to us, but for the baby fish, it's like a perfect secondary food source. I guess paramecium and things like that. So those are different techniques, I guess. And but yeah, like to fix that issue, I think having the constant food source seems to be what works. As far as I can tell. So I hope that helps. Tabarak Aquatics. Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum salam. I'm checking in to learning from you, bro. Oh, good. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Pistol fire red legacy since the spawn. I've had hands-off approach, but no luck for a crib. Females looking for. Well, fishing Mike. That's a very good question. And so with the pistols, the one thing I've learned in breeding them is you need to have like a colony, like one male to two females, at least two males, 4 to 5 females, very nicely planted tank. If you don't want to go with that route, then if you want to go with the pair route, you're always going to have, unless you have like a very good pair where the male is like not too aggressive towards the female, and you have a lot of little clay pots and hiding places for the female to get away from the male. So these are all little things you can do. But aside from those setups, and the pH being below 6 ideally, or at least 6.5, seems to be useful for getting them to spawn. And it's not the pH that matters in that context, it's the calcium hardness. A lot of these South American fish, they come from very soft water where there's no calcium carbonate, you know what I mean? Whereas we live on a calcium plate in North America. So the eggs have like a membrane that gets, that needs water to go back and forth for it to stay alive, so that oxygen and stuff like that can transmit back and forth, I guess, whatever. And it's a permeable membrane, it's a semi-permeable membrane, I guess. And the calcium seems to block it, and it calcifies the egg membrane. And this is not what I learned myself or anything like that. I got this information from Jan the Discus man, who breeds thousands and thousands of discus, or at least used to. Here in Canada is very famous. And so I was at his facility a few years back, and he's the one who explained this to me. And it makes complete sense. And I've also had this, idea of this from other fish breeders, master breeders, for example, in the past. When I was learning to breed Plecos, for example. So, anywho, coming back to the point, the calcium carbonate needs to be out of the water, and that seems to trigger the fish to breed. So, adding oak leaves, adding, tea tree, the magnolia leaves, or anything like that, Indian almond leaves into your tank. Like if it's a 40-gallon, you can add a couple of those. If it's oak leaves, you can add like 5-10 of those. That seems to get them in the mood. And once you have that, it's just a matter of time, you know what I mean? Well fed, well taken care of. If you do want to breed in pairs or in groups, you need to have a lot of hiding places. I recommend a planted tank because then the fish have hiding places. but also having a bunch of clay pots, little pieces of piping. I used to use that quite a bit actually. There's little elbows you can buy at Home Depot. They're like $4 or $5 each. So buy like 20 of those and just throw it in one corner so that if the female wants to go hide somewhere, she has a place to go hide. And then they also have places to lay eggs and stuff if they want to. And the male, that seems to leave the female alone if she's hiding inside one of those or whatever, because his whole purpose is to have her protected in there, laying eggs, taking care of eggs, whatever. So I don't know. It's just pretty easy at that point, but again, it's up to the fish. You can't force them. And what size tank filter can I have give better result for breeding Brazilian Plecos? I mean, honestly, it doesn't really matter. If you have a 10-gallon, you can have a pair. If you have a 40-gallon breeder or a 37-gallon, like something like this size, you can have like 10, 12 fish in there. I would say like 2 to 3 males and like the rest being females or growouts. The only difference is if it's a 10-gallon, you would have to take the babies out as they come. And you can only keep like 1 male and 2 females at best. And if it's a 40-gallon or whatever, you can let the babies go out in the tank without too much of a worry because it's enough space for them to grow out. You just have to put a bunch of food in there. But yeah, they're not hard fish to breed in that context. You again get better results when you have lower pH, you have better spawns, where like most of the eggs that are laid are fertilized and hatched. But since they do lay a lot of eggs, even at higher pHs, some of them will hatch, and you will get some results. So they are not a hard fish to breed, and because they lay so many eggs so often, and they also have you have much more opportunity to get them to breed, and be successful. So filter wise, sponge filter, air stone doesn't hurt. Power heads don't hurt. Having a power head or like a power filter or hang on the back. Whatever filtration you have is fine. They're not a picky animal. They're pretty easy fish to keep and take care of. Getting them to breed, you need to like lower the temperature. I think it's about 74 degrees Fahrenheit. It's about 23, 24 degrees Celsius, which is where I get my results. 74, 75 degrees Fahrenheit. So, but yeah. Red Laser wants to know any chance you're... Well, actually, yes. I think I was actually supposed to call Tom yesterday. I did not get around to it. Oh, Joy's at work. I'm sorry, Jonathan Bishop. He's like, worst time for me. I'm sorry, buddy. I didn't realize you guys don't have a day off. I swear I thought today was Labor Day, and I'm like, okay, I guess no more white after tomorrow. And then I already have my white shirt ready to go to the dry cleaner, just because I want to have it nicely clean and put it back. I have a few white shirts actually. There's one right there. There's one inside also, and there's one like downstairs, which is ready to go to the dry cleaner. But yeah, I swear to God, I thought it was Labor Day today. And now I know. Anywho, I'm gonna sign off soon. Like I was supposed to sign off, but Mason says, "Hope you've been good." Yeah, good. I've been good, bro. Shubham Watwar. Hi, love from India, love from Toronto. I'm sorry, I butchered your name. But yeah, it's Tom. I was supposed to call him. If he wants to come by and pick up fish, that's fine also. And if not, I can definitely drive fish over also on Sunday and pick up some plants. Either one works. But I think they would enjoy coming and picking the fish they want, seeing the fish. You know what I mean? Seeing the quality, seeing the size. Like how good they are and stuff like that. It would be beneficial. for them to get the best fish in that context. I mean, not to say that we're not going to bring them the best fish, but I like when I'm picking my own fish. Like, instead of somebody's, like, it's just a personal thing, right? So if they do like it, they could definitely come by and pick up the fish that they want. And I think that would also give them the opportunity to see what else we have that they might not have or have not thought of getting. And definitely be able to get some of those as well. Joined late, only have a few minutes. Wanted to say hi. Well, thank you. I was just talking about you right now, saying, oh, you're at work. I'm sorry. I thought today was Labor Day and everybody had the day off. It's my bad. And I got lazy yesterday after doing all the work downstairs. But yeah, thank you for being here. And I'm sorry. I wanted to apologize to all my members also. That I've been neglecting a little bit the channel, but I have to not, like, I can't neglect the fish, and I feel like they're being neglected quite a bit, more than I would like to personally. So I definitely don't feel comfortable doing anything beyond working if they're neglected. You know what I mean? If I have to go to work, I have to go to work. There's not much I can do. But beyond that, I definitely want to give the majority of my time for them until this whole thing is up and running, and then definitely more time and love for the channel. You know what I mean? So just want to say that I feel bad, and then I feel bad for them. I feel more bad for them, because they can't help themselves at all, right? So it's my job. So I'm gonna do my best to get everything up and running first. And once it's up and running, we will have more cool content. Like, this room is coming together nice. Like, I'm very happy with a lot of the setup here. So even here, there's still a lot of work left to be done. Like, this tank needs to get resealed. I should write on it. Needs resealing. Sand. I want to move this up top, but then I don't know where I'm gonna put this guy because it's a big guy. I might just play with it there. This needs sand, gets redone. The fish in here, the Apitanos need to go to their tank downstairs. But I got carpet. This wood's gonna get pushed back, so the tank's gonna come on top of this piece of wood here. The carpet is nice, it's just so I don't scratch up the floor with my chair, you know what I mean? And also, feels good on your feet, not to stand on bare wood floor. So it's a lot of work. It's essentially what I'm saying. I'm literally stretching myself so thin that there's days that I just don't even want to move. But then I have to go to work. I come home from work and then I have to feed all the fish. You know what I mean? Like, and then before I go to work, I have to wake up early, feed all the fish. It's overwhelming. Like. And the main issue I think I'm having right now is that it's not set up yet. Not everything is up and running yet. Not even half the tanks have water in them yet, which means all the fish are consolidated into the few tanks that are up and running. And then whilst I have to get all the tanks up and running, I also have to maintain these tanks more frequently because there's so much fish in them. So it's taking up a lot of time to just take care of everybody, right? And then on top of that, also dedicate time to get everything up and running, and also plan how I want to have everything up and running. Make sure it's all like proper, like I have, and I want it to look a certain way, so I want it to look nice. So I need to spend time doing that, making sure, like, it's a lot of planning where the fish are gonna go based on the temperatures of the house. You know what I mean? It's a lot of like thinking also, right? And then I'm sitting here literally like overwhelmed out of my head sometimes, just staring at a tank. Like, and it overwhelms me because there's so much to do. I just, there's days when I come home from work, I'm just so tired. I'm just like, okay, I need to get this done, but I just sit here and look at the tank and I'm like, alright, that's it. I'm not doing anything. Everybody's good. You know what I mean? Today's good. Like, unless it's like a water change that I have to quickly do. And even then, I had to set up the tap and Like it's a nightmare. Nothing is set up yet, right? Once I have the water change hose set up, where I can just open the valve and the water is going out, which is what we're gonna have eventually. It's a siphon setup that's gonna have like its own outlet in the basement, going out of the door, and all I need to do is fill the buckets up, which I can do with the Python, with the Hager water change thing. Um, because to drain that with that, I don't want to flood the house, you know what I mean? It's draining into the kitchen sink. If something gets clogged, it's going to flood the living room. No, I don't want that. So I want the drain to be going straight to the basement, and we have a laundry chute that is not being used, you know what I mean? So I can plumb it through that directly into the basement, the bathroom, and into the same drain that all the other tanks are draining to, which is going to make it safe, efficient. And all I have to do is stick the tube into a tank, turn the tap on, put my timer on, and I'm good to go. I'm now going to set up an Alexa up here to use that for timing. She does not like me, I do not like her. But there will be that in the basement and the living room. Same thing in the living room, except the siphon would be going out to the backyard in the summertime, and then out to down to the basement in the wintertime. So this is the plan, and it needs to get done over time, because I went yesterday to Home Depot, spent like 2 hours looking for tubing and piping. They didn't have the right type of pipes that the piping I needed, the right diameter. So there's all these things, logistical issues, you know what I mean? And they are designed the siphon system so it always holds water, doesn't leak, doesn't spill water into the house, doesn't just start draining my tank when I'm not at home. All these things, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's all work. And I'm overwhelmed, you know? I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I am definitely overwhelmed. And 90% of the time it's just me here doing stuff, so I get tired like after like moving like 20 tanks around. To get the 2 tanks that I do want to move, I have to move everything else around, and especially in the living room. So then I'm just like, oh my god, you know what I mean? Just don't want to do it. But yeah, so today, water changes, getting tanks ready. Anyways, I'm gonna sign off and get to work. So that's what's going on with life and with the fish room, and that's why less content. Because I'm at work also, and I'm doing a different job the last couple of weeks. Well, 2 separate different jobs. I'm doing a stand-in job, and I'm also doing casting assistant. So I'm working directly for the casting director. So he's the one paying me, you know, money. And I like that, you know what I mean? Then I get to be behind the scenes a little bit. I mean, I definitely am going to transition back to doing what I love doing, but this is also stuff I love doing. But it just means I don't have my spare time at work where I get to take a nap or work on my videos, edit videos, or whatever like that I do normally at work, because there's a lot of spare time. With this particular 2 jobs, I don't have that luxury, so I haven't had that luxury as well. When I come home, I don't have a lot of spare time because all the time I have is invested into mostly just maintaining everything, and then also getting things up and running, you know. So definitely nice to have some help. I'm not gonna say a lot. I'm not gonna say no to help right now. But in terms of like physical labor, you know, like somebody to come in and say, okay, let's move some tanks around. So my friend Jamie's coming over. I don't know if you guys know him. He was in one of the live streams, which is not public right now, or you know, so we just were like going off that day. But he's one of my friends from when we were kids, so he's coming over when he has a day off and helping me move some of the bigger tanks. But yeah, so that's what's going on. Anywho, bye for now. I'm trying. I'm going to try and have a very productive day today. What time is it? 12:12. I have a lot of time left. So thank you so much. I love you all. God bless you. Hope you all have a glorious week, and I will see you hopefully Friday, because I might try to take Friday off. I'm definitely working every day next week, so this week it's a shorter week. So hopefully I have Friday off, then I can get some more work done. Anyways, thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you soon. God bless you, buddy.